Alright, YouTube. I'm here to tell you about, this current format and my thoughts on the format. I'm going to express the deck that I play, and the deck I play is TG's right now. Real sick deck. If I'm going to convert to a new deck after TG's, it'll probably be Dark World, if Dark World doesn't get banned or hit. But Dark World has its own weaknesses too, like Debonk, DD Crow, D-Fissure, but there are so many outs. All Dark World has to side are, MT destructions and stuff. So about my deck right now is TG's. I'm going to start with the Synchro list first, because I think, Synchros and XCs are important too. So, we have Roach, Utopia. Now, what's good about Roach and Utopia by themselves is Roach single-handedly is good against agents. That's the one deck that Roach can just be good just to summon by himself, because agents have to do kind of a lot to get rid of it. And Utopia is just there, just as another level 4 filler, because it's good against Glads, X-Sabers, in general, like by themselves. And a 25 beater and a 19 beater, it runs over Tengu and stuff. Then we have the obvious Trishula, Barkion, Brionic, Cataster, the Black Rose Dragon, Orient Dragon. What I love about this card is, well, before the ban list, this card is a direct answer to Stop Xian. Then Xian got banned. But Orient Dragon is really good against Scraps and against like the Stardust Dragons and those typical Brionics and stuff. Like any Synchro, it removes by itself when Synchro summons, so you don't have to waste your hand. Because you summon him the same way as you do Brionic. It's just that if you want to get rid of like that Synchro and you have no cards, that's what you pick over him. They're both the same attack. Brionic stronger by defense by 400 points. So, we have Librarian and Double Stardust Dragon for Starlight Roads. Scrap Dragon. Colossal Fighter, I think is really good right now because you can take your opponent's Luster if it's engraved, if you want to Synchro for it late. Colossal is good just because in this deck it can maximally go to 31 if all three of the strikers are engraved, or if that's engraved, it can go to 32. You can create it to be that way if you want. Gaia. What I've realized is not Brionic, but Barkion against this deck is kind of annoying because I play a lot of traps. So Gaia by himself can run over, a Barkion, Stardust. It's 26. It runs over a lot of stuff, surprisingly. So I decided to play it. I haven't made it yet, but if that Barkion is on the field, I can run it over. And the Wonder Magician is my favorite Synchro of the entire deck, actually, because she's just like Formula, and when she's destroyed, she works under Skill Drain, you draw a card. So, Power Gladiator is really good too. I like Power Gladiator, I just don't use them right now. But you would make them the same way. So, we look at the monster lineup. 3 Rush Rhino. I just put in 3 Barbaroses. In this deck, I actually do tribute 3 cards to blow up my opponent's field, and all I do is Solemn or Bribe, and I nuke their field and attack. It's really easy for me to tribute for 3. He's really good against Tengu as well, and under Skill Drain, it's a 3000. You call the Haunted him back to the field, is a 3k. But no, this deck can really utilize his effect really well, actually. And you'd be very surprised how, when you tribute summon for this card, and if they go Starlight Road and you just Solemn Warning and they still lose their whole field anyway against their Roads, their Solemns, their Warning too. Like I have Bribe and Solemn just in case or whatever. And if you want to play like the Trap Sun version of this or Triple Bribe version, it's still good too. Obviously 3 Tengus. My favorite thing to do is combo Tengu, Wolf, and Striker into Trish. I love doing that. It's real easy. And how to synchro for this deck is a level 4, 3, 2 makes Trish. 2 3s and a Striker is an 8. Okay. Striker and Wolf is a 5. Okay. Striker and Rhino is an auto 6. So you can manipulate through all that. To make the 7-star, it's basically Call the Haunted and Striker for a 5-star or whatever, and go Black Rose, but you don't really Black Rose that much anyway, or just Monster Reborn. I also love using Warner Magician's effect like as form of a Synchron and use Wolf to make an 8. So that's how to make your 8-star. Also, and you got to remember, this is also TG2. So you can combo this off with TG1, EM1. I've done that a few times, and they don't really realize it. And it's just like scraps in a scrap deck. And you know, if you had a scrap monster in your grave, you can use the effect too. So it's whatever. Now for the traps. Now I've trained the trap lineup a few times, so it's like, but I actually really like this trap lineup. To Call the Haunted. I didn't think it would be good. I really thought it would be very awful, actually. But it's actually really good. Triple MST, they hit it. You get a TG, or if they solve your Tengu, and you just bring it back, the other one comes to the field. So it's like, it's never minus in this deck, and every monster you bring back is an auto plus anyway. Double Starlight Road, I love it, just because I can set 5 and say go. Just primarily that reason. And it eliminates a lot of threats, too. And, I never worry about backfields ever being blown up. And they think like, oh, TG's bad because of Storm. Nah, Starlight Road is a sick card. And you can always push with Road Set, too. And it's a good Gladiator Beast out, because Gladiators spam Gazars. X-Sabers for Hunlai, And it also is for Malevolent Catastrophe, because Agents used to side them. I don't know if they do now. They side Decree, which is a lot better in my opinion. But Starlight Road is really good out to help. And if you're playing against like underdog players or unknown, they're always going to heavy storm you anyway, and you just Starlight Road them because they think you don't have it, or you're like, oh, well, if I draw heavy storm in step 5, I win, against your opponent. So 3 Horn. I used to play Lance and Chalice. Horn is really good. Just that Horn and TGMI makes the deck go around basically. 3 Skill Drain. This alone beats decks by itself. So. You want to MSC my Skill Drain? Sure, I took a K. That's fine, but I negated your effect anyway, so. And 2 Warning. 2 Reinforced Truth. You can only bring this out anyway, the Striker. But 2 Reinforced Truth, I like it. I mean, I even played 3. It's so good because I can combo this off with Wolf. I mean, it's just good in general. MST it. And it also helps, so if you don't actually draw your monsters, this brings your monster to the field anyway. So, Reinforcer is really good. And Double Bribe is self-explanatory. It helps against almost anything. It's like, oh, if I don't want that to activate, that's what, the Bribe is for. And it guards my backfields too, and it's also a heavy storm out. And you can leave this card on the field, and it's going to be a power out. The only deck this isn't really good against is Scraps. That's really it, but... Other than that, that card's it's better than 7 Tools, because as soon as you combo off with Horn, this draw is always going to be even anyway. So it's always going to be 1 for 1. If you draw 2 times, it's a +1. And when you search and clash with a monster, you've already replaced this card draws effect. So always remember, by the time you use Bribe, you've probably already plussed anyway, or ran over a card, with Barbaros. And the spells are simple: Mind Control, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole. Monster Reborn, Pot of Avarice, and Triple Duality. Oh yeah, and the deck looks like common and stuff, just because like I don't want to use the foils. I like using commons and rares because it's thinner. So like I need super dualities, But I do have like my first set heavy Mind Control, Reborn, and Ulti Avarice and stuff. Just people just look like, oh, don't you have shiny cards and stuff? I do. I just don't want to use them. Dust Shoot, so sick. Self-explanatory, Torrential, and Solemn Judgment. The side deck helps the deck based on the player. Actually, my opinion. So I've decided to side Mirror Force, 2 Bottomless, 2 Mind Crush, Transmigration, Triple MST, Book of Moon, 2 Crow, 2 Ally Salvo, and a Gorz. Okay. Crow's good against everything. Mirror Match. I don't like Thunder King. I hate Thunder King. I seriously hate it. Number 1, every deck has it, so I'm pretty sure that if I see a Thunder King, I can just TGMI the card anyway. So, mostly, I'm playing cards that beats what beats me. And only a handful of cards actually beats me, like Safe Zone, Thunder King, D-Fissure. That's really it. There's no Synchro that overpowers me. Because, like I said, Striker and Rush Rhino, is an auto solution to any card on the field. Any card. If I want to get rid of a Synchro, I have, you know, Orient Dragon. If I want to get rid of like a specific card, I have Brionic. Okay. And if I want to run over that stupid annoying Barkion, I have Gaia. And if I want to, you know, negate traps, I go into Barkion too, the Ertz. Okay. Ally Salvo. I mean, this card is really, really good right now. Just because everyone's spamming agents, you know. So it solves my issues. And it also gets rid of that decree. Because I always pop their backfields. And then I just create a field to run over their cards. And plus, it works under skill drain too. So like if Luster hits the field or something and attacks, blow up, you know, cards and such. And Gores, this card is always going to be good no matter what format it is. When you use it against the right deck and the right time, that's just it. Like, truthfully. And it's a really good card to have because you can take it out if you don't really know what to side against a deck. And believe it or not, you know, playing this card against like these burn decks too, it actually really helps when you open with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is my theory on TGs. I don't really think there's a deck better than it at all. First turn skill drain is always good. Okay. I have Barbaros, and he does everything for me. Because I got double Call, double Reinforced Truth, Tengu, TG Wolf, Striker. I can get 3 monsters on the field with ease, to be honest with you. It's not difficult at all. You may be wondering, like, what is my outs, like, not Deprison, but, like, Thunder King and such. I mean, you really got to know, like, Rush Rhino does everything. It's a 2,000 card, it attacks and stuff. And you got another thing, too. You can stall and just build. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you really got to learn this deck because it's really good. I played it for a while, and it's... First time I picked it up, I didn't even know how to play it at all, and I topped TV tournament and stuff, and won a TV. So, yeah. But, yeah. Also about the format too, you know, agents are just overplayed entirely. Plants, you know, they're okay, but I think they lose everything since people didn't, you know, they don't know how to beat it, I guess, yet. You know, when they go off, but TGMI, you know, beats that deck alone, you know. But yeah, Barbaros is a sick card. Another reason why I play Barbaros is with skill drain, he runs over everything. He's like Judgment Dragon, you know. I think better when you actually tribute for it and stuff. But it's such a good card. It's so good. And the side deck too, like the Book of Moon, I just put it in here just because I don't want to side like any of these of 3 ofs at all. Like I can take out Barbaros or something. Put Book back or Mirror Force. Book is always a -1. It's never a plus. Ever. So yeah, and it's not good against every deck too. And I think I've side decked every card in this deck out except for like my monsters. But I mean, sometimes I've even sided out Tengu. You know, but Prohibition is also a really good card too. Call the MSTs all the time. Call MST and, you know, set yourself so the only card they can use to get rid of your backfields are Heavy Storm and, you know, like monster effects. So Skill Drain makes that null and void. Okay. But, yeah. I mean, in the side, you know, Transmigration, Force... Not needed. Gores isn't needed really that much either. And I think I don't even know the last time I summoned Gores. I have, you know, I play against Gravekeepers and they attacked and blew up my stuff and I Gores them. So I chose for game 3 not to put the skill trees in because it was already expected. So instead I just, yeah, the skill drain didn't do too much. I set it backfield, I think it's a skill drain, so like they waste their MS. They keep the MSCs actually, so I can set all my cards, and then when they want to go in phase, I just chain like Reinforced Truth or Dust Shoot. I do it all the time. Mind Crush is too good right now. It's way too good. Okay, so this was just my thoughts today. I wanted to bring out, so I'm going to upload this and comment, send me mail. You guys have my Facebook. If you guys don't have my Facebook, ask. My Facebook is Samuel Jones. You know, still, it's not going to change. And I wish I would have went to the YCSs recently because I'm pretty sure I would have topped. I've been really busy. So this is probably like the deck I would have played anyway. I don't really change a lot of decks unless I want to change to a new deck. So keep the documentaries, enjoy playing the game, and become pro, and have a nice day, people. Thanks.